That expires in 1 week. You're not real FBI, are you?
I'm still in training at the academy.
Jack Crawford sent a trainee to me.
Yes, I'm a student. I'm here to learn from you. Maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not I'm qualified enough to do that.
It's Sunday Morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
She's been in the spotlight since she was a child, and she's in the spotlight tonight on CBS. Jodie Foster is among those nominated for a Golden Globe Award. Lee Cowan has our Sunday profile.
I had my time, and it's not my time necessarily anymore. It's my time to support other people. And I have something to contribute because I have experience and I have wisdom, but I don't have to play the same role that I played when I was in my 20s.
That is the wisdom that actor Jodie Foster found when she entered into her 60s. The kind of professional epiphany that she blames on Mother Nature.
I think it might be a chemical thing that happens to you when you're older where you just kind of relax.
That's really saying something, since she started her career at the age of 3.
You don't have to worry about me. Just take good care of yourself. And don't catch any cold or anything.
With nearly 100 credits to her name and 2 Oscars, she says she's always had a frustrating on-again, off-again love affair with acting.
Sometimes I go through years where I just don't want to act for a while. I don't find anything. I'll read a perfectly good script about a perfectly good thing that I should be interested in, and I just don't care.
For most of the last decade, Foster was focused on her marriage to Alexandra Hedison and raising her 2 teenage boys. But then, 2 roles came around that have her now back in front of the camera again.
Some people come to Alaska to escape. Get away from something.
You don't even think of me!
And she says she's prouder of them than almost anything she's done.
If you die, I want to be the last person you see. But don't die. But if you do, I'm going to be right there with you.
She's already earned Golden Globe and Critics' Choice nominations for her role in the Netflix original
There's no one more Nyad than you.
Nyad, where she plays Bonnie Stoll, friend and coach to swimmer Diana Nyad, played by Annette Bening.
What were you thinking, you pathetic?
Hey, no.
Stupid.
None of that. Don't beat yourself up, you're doing great.
I think it was much more challenging for Annette. I spent a lot of time on the side of the boat sucking in my stomach. That's pretty much what I did, in my jogger bra.
I'm not working with you again, ever.
You think I want to work with you?
I do, actually. Yeah.
Then, after a 5-year wait, there's the highly anticipated 4th season of HBO's True Detective, out next Sunday.
My job is to keep everyone safe.
Night Country is just as spooky and supernatural as the first True Detective, but this time, it's set in the frigid polar winter nights of Alaska.
Was it as cold as it looked up there when you were shooting?
It was probably colder than it looked.
Really?
There are moments where it's really hard to speak. It's so cold that your mouth kind of talks like that.
Stop around! Hey, this is a crime scene. Why don't you pretend like you know what you're doing?
Foster plays Detective Liz Danvers, who's confronting a certain darkness of her own.
Oh, no, you're not going to blame her on me. And I wasn't even here. You know who was here? You.
I didn't think that I would come back at this level, or I didn't think that I would come back to acting as often as I have now.
Many thought acting was just her destiny. After all, Hollywood has always been home.
Every LA kid loves growing up in LA.
True.
That's their reference.
Did you?
I loved it.
She lived with her mom and 3 siblings, just a mile from what was then a very gritty Walk of Fame.
You were talking about Hollywood Boulevard and how
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very different than it is now.
Yes, we weren't allowed to go there. She said that if she ever found us on Hollywood Boulevard, that we shouldn't come home.
Foster's mom, Brandy Foster, got her into acting, and as her early manager, kept her in it, she says, in a gentle but firm way.
She's asked me about 1,000 times, do you want to be an actress? And I could have always said no, but I don't. It's fun.
You said you were kind of forced into it, I guess isn't really the right word, but you didn't choose it.
No, I
necessarily.
didn't choose it.
But at some point you chose to keep doing it.
Yes. I knew that that there was sort of an unsaid thing, that you accept these parameters, or you can always stop. You can always say no.
That was always an option.
It was always an option, but it's a little bit of like, you know, here, you can have this dog food or you can starve. You know, there's a little bit of that.
Despite being the youngest child, there was always a maturity about her, an old soul in a young frame.
And this is me. Born in Mount View Hospital 13 years ago, give or take a month. Female, blonde, natural, of course.
I'm like such an awkward adolescent at Freaky Friday, like lots of pimples and kind of chubby and greasy hair and all that.
Gross. I wish I could switch places with her for just one day.
She proved she could convincingly play characters wise beyond her age. Even her own mother.
Well, those are kind of my home movies.
What's your name?
Easy.
Well, that's not any kind of name.
Oh, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, but what's your real name?
I don't like my real name.
She was already a veteran actor at the tender age of 12, when she was cast as an underage prostitute in Taxi Driver.
Why do you want me to go back to my parents? I mean, they hate me. Why do you think I split in the first place? There ain't nothing there.
I didn't really understand what building a character was until I did Taxi Driver.
If there was an ambivalence about her career, she says, it was rarely about the work. It was about the celebrity that came with it.
You said that you've said it a bunch of times actually, I think, that you're an introvert in an extrovert's job. Is that still the case, you think?
Definitely true. Yeah, I'm 100% an introvert. I've never been okay with being a public figure. It's not something that's ever felt okay to me or felt healthy.
She was in college at Yale when an obsessed fan, John Hinckley Jr., said he attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan to get Foster's attention.
Last fall, I received several pieces of unsolicited correspondence signed John W. Hinckley or JWH, and I threw them all away.
She was dragged into history through no fault of her own. Foster then endured years of speculation about her private life, about her sons, about her sexuality, all of which she kept from the tabloids, much to their dismay.
I tried to be as authentic as I possibly could, and I had to protect my own psyche from the publicness. I just had to figure out how to dig a trench around me and to survive intact. And some of that meant being more isolated.
Is that trench still there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
And the roles she's generally taken, she says, seem to be characters who also have something to work on.
What did you see, Clarice? What did you see?
Lambs. They were screaming.
There's always been an intensity or a vulnerability that have marked so many of her roles.
I thought if I could save just one, but he was so heavy. He was so heavy.
When she played a rape survivor in The Accused, she made us all uncomfortable, and rightly so.
I have not seen The Accused in, I don't know, 25 years. I don't think I wanted to revisit it, actually.
And he pushed me down on the pinball machine. And he ripped my shirt. He lifted my skirt. He pulled down my underpants really, really hard.
I can only do one thing at once. I'm not a multitasker. So I'm a focuser, and if you're a focuser, you do get obsessed with things. I think every movie I make, I get obsessed with.
Swim, no swim, you are a force. Know that.
So, whether she's pretending to be in the Florida Straits or straight out frozen in the Arctic Circle.
Those men died before they froze.
What the Get out of here, now!
At 61, Jodie Foster now says she's reached a point of acknowledgement in her life. Yes, she's a little obsessed, and yes, she's an introvert, and yes,
I am crazy.
But for one of the first times in her long professional life, Jodie Foster is finally feeling a little more free.
I think I have managed to survive and survive intact, and that was no small feat. And look at me, I survived.